questions.
ass, all right?
We're going to start with that.
All right. So, episode 2 of our Ambien Noise. How was you guys' day today?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Got a lot of stuff done before 11 o'clock, which was kind of surprising. It's the power of, medicine.
Yeah.
By Vance, yeah.
We did. We got up. We did jujitsu for an hour this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Heard a fun story about our one of our instructor and one of our fellow rollers got in a bar fight.
Oh.
No, they're bouncers at a bar downtown, and apparently after closing, some idiots came knocking and. It turned into a whole big
puddle of blood.
A big puddle of blood. It turned into a big puddle of blood.
And like he showed up and he had like a scratch on his finger.
We're like, did anything happen to you? He's like, well, I got the scratch.
And some guy was like trying to bite him, and that's what set him off, and he just kicked the crap out of him.
No, he punched him.
Well, both. No, he had the arm. Fabio punched him.
No. The guy punched Joe originally. That's why he got him on the ground. Then he started biting him. Anyways.
So that happened.
It was a thing.
And he just showed up, and he was like in pristine condition. He's just
he
like,
was
whatever.
fine. He was fine enough to roll for an hour. That's for sure. Brooke, you had a fascinating...
I had a pretty exciting day. You know, I worked. My boss ignored me for 4 hours. That was fun.
That's exciting.
And I watched anime with a friend. I got a Tyler the Creator t-shirt from her, so it was pretty awesome. And I was going to get gas before I came here, and there were some soliciting musicians in the parking lot.
Wait, can we call them musicians? Do they play any instruments?
Says this is real
technically.
Yeah, we'll show you the albums, but they were selling their mixtapes for $5 a piece, and I have the crank window, so I had to reach across my car and unroll the window. They're like, do you want a CD? And I just want these guys out of my face. So I'm like, here's $10. Just please leave me alone. So, yeah, let me go grab the CDs so you guys
grab
can
those CDs.
check them out.
We're going to plug their hits.
Oh, yeah.
Plug them jams.
Straight from the heart of Fort Myers. We've got Bay Walls. And we've got...
I'm not sure how well that's going to work.
Cliff 856. I have no idea how this looks on the camera. So
Bay Walls. I feel like that is in some way referring
like
to
balls?
No, I was thinking vaginal
That's kind of what I was thinking, actually.
I went that way. I mean, either way.
But there's like a bay. I don't know.
Bay.
I feel like...
Benoit, is that what you're talking about?
Well, no, I said bay, vaginal walls, but with a bay in there.
Well, it's kind of like...
You look confused. I feel like I need to explain. You need a description.
Yeah, I am confused. Yeah,
I don't know. This is a stretch.
But I don't need an explanation, so it's okay. You're good. Confusion's fine. That can set in. That's all right. Don't worry about that.
What was the most interesting part of your day, man?
Yeah, man, what'd you do today?
Nothing. I was slightly productive. I did not wake up before 11. At all. So
you're a goddamn American hero.
I didn't wake up till about 12:30.
Oh.
So
short round's gonna be at.
I did.
Yeah, you gotta go, right? You gotta dress like Indy and go.
Dude, well, he's the best character.
Yeah, he is the best character.
Poor guy.
Mr. Dr. Jones.
I almost want to go in full gear. Just so I can get a photo and tell him, stand here, don't touch anything.
Get on your knees.
Yeah. Stand right here, don't touch anything.
Look short.
That's right. So,
Mr. Jones.
Yeah.
Dr. Jones.
Yeah, and then I'd feel really bad, so I can't, yeah.
Why? Why did you feel bad?
Because everyone else does
that.
Right, yeah, because that's his life.
That's his life.
I know, but
he didn't turn into Jackie Chan.
Right,
right. Can I say that when they remade or made that new Indiana Jones movie that I like to pretend never happened,
right?
It should have been...
I've never seen it.
It should have been a Pass the Torch movie with Short Round. That's how I always felt. If they ever made another one, like... Give the little Asian
maybe that's
his
what the
day,
maybe that's what the new one is that they haven't announced yet.
What?
So. There's a fifth one.
I remember
in the
wasn't
we don't want any part of that.
I don't either. But
who was the young Indiana Jones?
Oh man,
wasn't it the guy? Wasn't it at some point? What's his face from?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wasn't Evil? The guy from Evil Dead. I can't think of his name. Bruce Campbell. Wasn't Bruce Campbell in it?
What?
I'll be honest. When that came out.
It was
Bruce
bad.
I was
Campbell?
young.
Was Bruce Campbell? Did you guys watch Young and
Yeah, I didn't watch much of it. I knew it existed.
I watched
we were
up to
talking
the
about Indiana
the.
Jones over here.
You're talking about
Indiana Jorge's.
Jones.
Jones.
Does that have to do with Baywalls?
No,
No.
my friend was,
Ben
was
Wobbles.
Hispanic.
We had
and,
already just talked
I
about
had a
it.
Hispanic friend in
Right.
middle school, and when Kingdom of the Crystal Skull came out, or that was around the same time.
How old were you when Kingdom of the Crystal Skull came out? Can we just
Don't
do
even
that?
ask him that.
That was 6th grade.
Oh my god.
Lord, I was hoping you were
Oh
going to
my
say like
God.
16, but
No.
That's what, 12 years old?
I'm 22.
I don't know. I don't know why you're
Whenever-
staring at me
whenever my
like
fr-
I'm in
Whenever
6th
that
grade.
same friend threw his jacket over my head, and I got
What,
the
you're not?
jacket zipper
I
in my
could
eye. That was fun. I couldn't
That's a
fr-
good
oh my
story.
God.
Yeah, I watched up to the episode where he had. Did you guys ever watch the Young
No.
Indiana
I
Jones very
watched-
far?
I didn't
I
watch
watched a good
yeah.
7 to 8 episodes, and I remember there was like an. Who was the artist? It was Picasso. Picasso was in it, and he had to fight.
What?
He either fought with Picasso or against him. It was real bad.
there was a bunch of
It was
historical
real
like
bad.
figures throughout time.
But they weren't
with
like
it.
good representations.
Right, no.
That whole show was bad.
Yeah.
You mean Picasso didn't really fight crime?
Right.
Well, he could have.
He
but
didn't fight the Nazis.
You don't know what he did. Well, that wasn't
I
just
don't know
With
what he
Nazis.
did.
art,
Right.
okay? With art.
He
Yeah.
Sharpened
Yeah.
paintbrushes.
Kingdom of the Crystal Skull came out 10 years ago.
Oh my god.
2008.
That was right.
I was 13 or 12, but I just turned 13 that year. So, yeah, I would have been.
Wow.
But it was
I
Halloween,
was-
right? So you
Kingdom
were
of the
12
Crystal
because
Skull
you turned
came out
13
when
when
I
you
was
were
living in
13.
LA.
Technically, but-
Dude, where I remember when that came out because we had all the merchandise.
All right,
I
of
think.
course. Oh yeah, they merched
Yeah.
the shit out of it.
And then it was all returned the next. No,
Well,
just
I'll
kidding.
tell you what, the
It
biggest thing that
Like TVs
that I
at
was
Best Buy?
actually super happy about that because it wasn't like all Kingdom of the Crystal Skull merchandise. It was 3 movies worth of merchandise from the past films.
Oh
that
yeah, they did. They
I
resurrected some of them.
dreamed of having as a kid. That all I ever wanted was like
The little
you know,
monkey idol.
right. So,
and
yeah, and
all
by
that.
that time, there was no eBay, there was no online stuff where you could just go and find it. That was gone. So so I was actually really happy about all the
I
stuff
think
they
it's really
re-released.
messed up. Like all those awesome movies, like Indiana Jones, Jaws, even old like comedy movies like Revenge of the Nerds and Better Off Dead. Like they threw all that shit away.
Yeah.
They didn't keep anything from
Yeah,
those movies.
yeah.
It's all gone.
Are you
Right.
talking
Well,
about the props and stuff?
Yeah.
I mean,
Gone.
whatever could be reused was reused for another film. Like, oh, this could be something else. Like,
Right.
Yeah, but everything
weapons
else
and
is
clothes.
trash.
But
Now
right,
they
all
keep
that stuff.
everything.
Oh,
but
yeah.
back then they trashed
Right.
all of it.
Well, you know what's
Well,
weird?
even with Back to the
I'm
Future, there's only
completely
maybe,
comfortable.
Like
Do you want the seat?
How dare
You
you?
can sit on the couch.
You're insulting my back right now.
Yeah, maybe. Right. I don't know.
Old man back.
Yeah.
It's true.
Even though there were like I think 8 or 9 like actual
Probably. Right.
things that they used, something like that.
Well, I found out through a site that I follow on Facebook that's like a prop trader, collector, or whatever site.
Right.
People post like things that they find, things they whatever, and the stuff that pops up sometimes is pretty cool. And somebody had, speaking of that, Shredder's original arm piece from the '89 film and the claw, and then I think his shoulder pieces, or like production or screen used, I don't know, but they were all foam. It was not. Of course, as a 5-year-old
apart,
in my
right?
head, I'm thinking
Metal.
there's a blacksmith there making it. It's nothing but foam, and the guy was trying to, find a way if anybody knew how to keep this preserved or restore it without ruining it because it was like you said disintegrating
yeah,
because
yeah.
it was
Spray
nothing
paint
but
shellac
foam.
or glue or something like
So
I don't know
I
if
don't
you
know,
could do. No,
but-
foam. It eats foam. We have like
Sure.
special
Yeah.
paint at work because
Right.
it
that.
spray
Well, no,
paint.
but I'm
all
talking
that
about
shit
like
eats
spray
foam.
paint glue or spray paint like a sealer.
Oh, I don't know.
And he didn't want to mess with it much because, he wanted to try to keep it original. But
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
like, this is all that survived of that suit. And then they started like a conversation started about it. And they were saying that, like, you were saying it got thrown away. But
Yeah.
one of the guys had mentioned, like, somebody, I don't know, worked on the film or something, was like, it disintegrated. That's
got a
all that's
couple
left
of
of that
stuff.
suit, is what they were saying. He's like, that armor was literally, by the end of the film,
Falling
it was
apart.
garbage. Like, it disintegrated. So that's all that actually survived of one of the many suits that they had made. So
Yeah.
that's funny. You don't think about that stuff, but
No.
yeah.
They have to make it as cheap as possible.
They used to have this show that I watched called, was it Hollywood Collectibles or something? And it was this
With
like
Mark
auction
Hamill?
company. No, that's Pop Culture with Mark Hamill.
Oh.
But Hollywood Collectibles was on, I don't know, like A&E or some crap like that. And it was these auctioneers, and they would get phone calls. They would go to these places and find out if stuff was legit or whatever.
I think I've seen
They
that.
got
yeah.
this like phone call. They ended up at somebody's house, and like their grandmother had a bunch of crap in their basement, and so they found a carpet bag, and they all used to use it to play Mary Poppins. It was her bag. Like, they found out it was the bag from Mary Poppins. It was worth, like, I think they sold it for like $100,000
Right,
or
probably
some
something
insane amount of money.
astronomical.
And they're like, we just
That's-
used it for Halloween candy. Like,
Oh my god.
it was ridiculous. But
That's
they find all
crazy.
this weird stuff in people's
Wow.
houses or in their garages, and they found like a bunch of prop masters.
How do they determine it's the same one?
Oh, well, the film industry, like warehouses, when they make things for movies, they put serial numbers on stuff,
Right, I was
Okay.
gonna say. I
and
think
it
most of
only
it's
matches up with that serial number. Same with cars. That's
Right.
how you can tell if a car was actually used in a movie. It's that they catalog all that stuff.
Right.
I mean, a car's easier to track because there's VIN numbers. But
Oh
I
yeah, no,
just
they
mean like
did
a
track
bag
it,
that's
but they
old.
did find out like that their grandmother used to work as a makeup girl.
Their
on a
grandmother
prop,
was
like,
Mary Poppins.
She was
acted-
the legit
yeah.
like the one
Yes.
the movie's about.
Right, that was
She
it.
flew in.
Yep.
She had a fling with a couple of the soundstage guys.
That's right.
I don't
Don't
remember
need a
that Mary
spoonful of
Poppins.
sugar to make her go down. You know
Oh.
what I'm saying?
Oh.
What?
But it
That's,
helps.
that's the weirdest porn you've ever seen, right? That's
I'm
the
sure
weirdest
that's a
porn you've
porn.
ever seen.
That's got to be a porn.
Let's look it
It
up.
probably is.
I-
We Google that.
I mean, I could, but I'm not gonna.
What would it be
Probably
called?
is.
What would it be called?
Mary's
Sherry
Poppin'.
Poppins.
Mary Poppins.
Cherry
Cherry
Poppins.
Poppins.
That's a good
Cherry,
one.
yeah.
Oh, that's a good
Nice.
one.
Yep. No
Yeah.
good.
God.
I'm sure there's some sort of carpet bag joke
I'm
in there.
I
as
feel
well.
like there's an STD
Yeah.
joke where it could be like Flary Poppins or something.
Ugh. No.
That's
No.
what I'm bringing to the table.
Carpet bag matches the drapes.
Oh. I hope not. There might be
It
some
was, like,
seriously wrong with her body.
Yeah, that
Don't touch it. Get away from it.
The animated
Oh.
scenes get really weird.
Yeah, you get like a
Yeah.
hazmat suit coming in.
Penguins.
Yep.
Yeah, the
like-
penguins get in
the
on it.
penguins in tuxedos.
Oh god.
No good.
And the
Yeah.
one guy that's like cleaning chimneys and crap, like
Oh,
I'll
he's got
clean
a,
your
he's
chimney.
got a mop instead, and he's like,
Bert,
"Excuse me."
Bert's
What was
the one.
that? Was that the camera or something?
No, that was my text message.
Okay,
alert.
just checking.
Bert's the chimney sweep.
just
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
the peep show booth cleaner instead.
Oh yeah. Yep.
That's yeah.
Does everything squeak?
Yeah.
Squeak, squeak, squeak!
Yes. Everything squeaks.
This is-
Everything
Mine is a lot less shrill.
Yours
like
was
yours.
doing that. It's
Mine
just I
was
needed it to be
squeak,
emphasized
squeak,
what you sounded like.
The scene I want to see though, like, and it has to have the most production value of any other part of the film, is the feed the birds scene.
Yeah, but she's
Why?
because she's gonna be
Why
naked,
that one?
covered with peanut butter and bird seed. She's gonna be a human like bird feeder cone.
Oh god!
Yeah.
And instead
Is that
of just
like-
guys in pigeon suits that come out, they're like, "Oh."
Is that like eating up?
She does it, and a bunch of homeless guys come out of the park,
Like in-
and they're like, "Excuse
Like in
me."
the Oz? Like in the Oz with the crows? Remember when the crows were people?
Right? Yeah, something
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
Yeah, it'd be real
similar to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
No, it's exactly like that, except without Michael Jackson.
Right.
What was it?
yeah.
Tuppence. What's the song?
Yeah. So a lot less crotch grabbing than
Right.
this, yeah.
No, that'd
And the
be
he.
a ton.
Right.
of
That too.
crotch
Well,
grabbing.
this was pre crotch grab.
Oh, that's true.
Michael
that would have
Jackson.
been right.
What are you
yeah.
talking about?
The
The
Wiz?
Wiz.
Oh, the Wiz,
yeah.
not Oz. Oz is
yeah,
about.
yeah, no, dude, the Wiz
Yeah.
one with
You're thinking
Where
of,
the hell
You're
was-
thinking of Return to Oz, which
Yeah.
is that weird
What
sequel.
that one was
Yeah,
good.
That
that
one,
was.
And it had like what was a girl
You're
in
thinking of that. Yeah, right. I know what you mean.
some weird name.
There were
girl
some really weird
with a
scenes
name
though in the Wiz.
and a girl.
Like,
There was
Yeah.
I liked the Wiz better than the Wizard of Oz.
the whole.
The
like,
Wiz was
subway scene.
funkier.
A whole
It
lot
was,
more
and
flair,
everybody
dude.
in the
It
Wizard
was.
of Oz was white, so it was
Right.
boring.
And everybody in the Wiz was not. So
Right,
it
yeah.
wasn't
Not.
boring.
And like
Right.
honestly, Michael Jackson was in it, so it was kind of cool there.
I agree.
I mean, I like Michael Jackson. So.
I do too.
Yeah.
It's
those-
Was it? He was a
And
scarecrow.
Diana,
Yeah.
and
Who's the
Diana
tin-
Ross was Dorothy.
That's right.
I don't know if I think I
It was
might have
just
seen
pretty
that like
freaking-
20 years ago
Yeah.
or more now.
It's
I remember-
longer than the regular Wizard of Oz too.
Yeah.
But it felt shorter because the regular Wizard of Oz is boring as fuck.
Where's
I
some
like
weird-
it.
I used to love it as a
would.
kid.
I do.
I did like it as a kid though. Yeah,
It was
I
like a
remember.
big deal because it came on once a year. Like it was televised
And you had
one
to watch it.
time.
I was
right,
like
every year.
I was like probably 18
Yep.
when I found out the Wiz existed, and I was like so excited, and I was trying to figure out why I was oppressed as a child.
I'm not allowed to watch
We're
Wasn't
not getting
allowed
to
to
watch
watch the
That's
Wiz.
I
right.
was probably like I was probably like 14 or 15 or so when that happened.
When you figured out the
When
Wiz
you
was
found out
the
about the Wiz, when you came out of the,
When
the
I
Wiz,
found out about
We
the
all
Wiz.
need to. Do you remember the year?
It's a male thing.
The day.
The Wiz.
you
what
wouldn't
you were
understand what it
doing.
was like to find the
when you
Wiz.
found out about the Wiz.
What you didn't know about the Wiz?
You girls wouldn't understand.
Wait, isn't that what the female like dick thing's called? Is a Wiz?
the Wizinator? No,
What?
that's
a
a
Wizinator.
That's a
Oh.
Wizinator, but that's
And
for
that's so
drug
you can
tests.
right,
Oh, no,
that's so you
that's
can pass
different.
your drug
You're
test.
thinking of
big
Go
dick.
Girl.
Right.
Go Girl.
Go Girl is like
What
a
the
funnel
hell
you
is
shove in your
It's a
vagina.
funnel, and
it
you can
just
like
shoots the
hose
pee.
your shit all over the place.
It's for camping.
It's
It's for
camping.
camping.
It's for camping
I like-
and fetish videos.
It's, right.
mean-
it's for camp. It's for camping when you're building
it's,
fetish.
it's
videos.
low-brow
Exactly.
fetish videos because you couldn't afford some sort of dick contraption.
Man, you learn something new every day.
That is so interesting. All right.
Oh man, there's got to be
Is
some
it?
kind of
It
contest.
sounded-
Where,
No,
is there,
no, that's
is there
like
a
just a
shooting for
generic
distance
thing.
contest I can look
There
up?
should be.
And there
Yeah.
probably look,
There
dude.
should
It's
be.
the internet.
Once
If
a
that's
year,
what you're looking
there's
for, you're
Red
still
Bull
in the
Flutog.
team.
There's downhill, like whatever the races are where you build your own like soapbox cars. And
That's a porno.
no, I'm just saying that's
Boxcar,
yeah.
the
There's
derby.
boxcar racing,
Time-
there's
time with
Flutog,
derby.
and female peeing for distance.
Why?
It's
Why
all
does
the
it
same.
sound like they're all from like
Yeah.
Boy Scouts except for the third one?
Oh, the third one is too. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
that's Girl
That
Scouts.
depends on which scout.
Girl
On
Scouts.
what
I
who
always
your
thought.
scoutmaster
Did you ever
was.
wonder why Girl Scouts are always on the side of the road selling things like they're prepping them for prostitution?
Aw.
That's how I
Talking
feel.
about Girl Scout cookies.
I was in Girl
Scouts.
Scouts and it was not like that. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, to me,
It
it
was
seems
like gal
like a.
pals. They were prepping us to be lesbians. Okay, they were prepping us to just like love female friendship, but it borderline.
Yeah, but how
other
come? Wait a
things.
second.
Was
The
it-
Boy Scouts didn't have to sell anything.
You use 3 fingers. I could see that. Wasn't that your thing?
No, but they like
I
to
don't know. I was
tighten
not
up.
a Boy Scout. I'll be on. I'll never forget though. I was like in the 5th grade, and somebody. It was probably some
Did you get
uncle
molested?
or father. No, I avoided. This was
I
was a
avoided
narrow.
molestation.
No, I
like
was.
like
I
the
was
guy was
stealing
reaching
it.
in your
Oh, yeah.
tent and you stuck another kid in the way.
In the, that's a good move, by the way. In like the 5th grade, they're like,
I
"Hey,
didn't
okay."
bathe at all.
Yeah, they all come in and they're like, they probably like took like, it was really weird. I remember
They're
too.
like,
They're like,
yeah, I went to Boy
girls
Scouts.
this way, all the boys go that way with this guy, and of course, I'm like, what the hell
and
is
his
going
last
on
name is like
here?
pedophile.
Right,
like,
it was weird. And then the scoutmaster dude or whatever, like, of course, had the full suit on and like the little neckerchief and the shorts that were like. It looked like he borrowed them from our gym teacher, but maybe hiked them up a little more.
Right,
even.
he rolled them.
And automatically, they were like trying to recruit kids for the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts. And right away, I was like, something's wrong here. Like this is not okay. Like that guy, like right away was throwing out like a
Oh, no,
vibe.
man, they
Like,
handed
I
me
don't
a
want to go
wood-
in the woods with this guy.
They told me I get to carve a piece of wood into a car, and I was like, yes!
Nope, didn't.
My like dream!
I had
And
nothing.
then I was doing it for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And I could have been molested, I just don't remember it.
Right,
Because
might
you
have repressed
suppress
it.
those things,
Yeah.
yeah.
No,
So,
I knew.
I
'cause
could have been diddled.
They screwed themselves because like a week before that or 2
I don't know.
weeks.
Were you a good enough looking kid to be
I
diddled?
mean,
Oh.
Either of you? What do you think?
I feel like I was definitely an attractive
You were
child.
like the
I
young
was what you would
Johnny
call
Depp?
I was what you would call prime meat.
Oh.
Ah.
you,
Well, you don't.
you look like you have suppressed wishes of scars. Like
I just I was a little
They're
chubby
molesting
kid.
the other
with a
kids.
bowl
Yeah.
Like,
So-
she's like, why not me?
man.
No.
I thought it was,
I was-
equal equal opportunity in America. That's what I was told as a child.
I was always a fat kid, so I was really too much to kidnap because it'd be just too much to drag and feed later on anyway.
I was
nobody
scrawny
wanted
and
me.
tired. I was probably tight I don't even know where I was
Oh.
going.
You
with
just
that.
looked
Man.
at
Wow.
You were scrawny
I
and
was.
tight.
Yeah,
I
you
was.
had, like, you had a
Yeah.
target on your back.
Oh yeah.
My God.
It was like a flaming yacht or something.
Oh no.
He would
Yeah.
just wear a sash, you know.
It's true.
Right.
That's it.
I was like, and then I
tried
just
to get the
greased.
attention of
Lots of
everyone
grease.
Just
staring
another
at it.
chef, and
Lots
that's
of
it.
oil and lots of grease and then
Yeah.
a sash.
You get a badge for that.
Oh,
There's an
yeah.
oil badge. That
It's
you
got
can
like
earn.
it's got like a finger docking with a dick. It's real weird.
Did you take like big showers with like other boys? Like I
I
remember.
don't remember.
would take,
I was
I would
surprised.
take
Wait.
showers with like 7 other girls.
What?
7 other
In
girls.
I
the
went
Girl
to church
Scouts.
camp.
Yeah, in Girl
Where were you
Scouts.
that everybody had to take a shower?
I went to church camp.
Everybody was naked and took showers. It was nuts.
I went to church
Why?
camp and the
Yeah,
showers
why?
were like
I thought you.
Because they were just open showers like at the campsite. So like
Yeah.
they would all send us in
it's
all
like
at once. It was
before we
crazy.
got there was obviously porn being recorded there. But that's
Yeah.
what
I
that's
don't
what church
know.
camp was like.
Oh my god.
I went to
I
like.
I just blew your mind.
Yeah, I never
I
thought
learned how
about
to tie
it.
noose on a mission trip.
That's
from
not.
a kid in a church.
Did anybody kill themselves?
Man.
No, but we hung a baby doll in the hallway.
Oh,
in the
that's-
church.
Interesting.
Clearly, the church failed.
You did not have a good childhood. I'm
I-
No, man.
didn't
I went
like-
to church
I
camp and
hated
people
the
used to
people
just
in my
do
church.
shit to you
So
while you
I
were
found-
asleep.
I
Oh,
found
man.
porn.
Like they'd put nair on your leg and it would just
Oh.
start burning and eating the.
no.
And like you just like get up and you'd be like,
That.
"Holy shit!" And you just run to the bathroom and then you'd see like other kids doing it. It was fucking the worst.
Actually, that sounds
never happened
horrible.
yet.
Yeah, I had
Yeah.
a really positive
Jesus Christ!
camp experience. Like I wasn't,
never-
there were no overnight
I
camps
loved it.
around here. So, well, that's good. And you
I mean,
were,
at
you
the
were
same-
hair free.
I was on a
Yeah.
mission
Yeah.
trip.
At the
Well, I
same
was a
time.
kid. I didn't have
That's
any
the
leg
important
hairs.
part.
Oh,
but
yeah. That's
I don't know why a kid. If you're 12 and you have a bottle of Nair, what the fuck are you doing? I don't.
That, you're rubbing it all
Yeah.
over your
So it
camp.
maybe
There
it
you
was
go.
a camp
Yeah, they're at
instructor.
work. Or
It
they're
might
at,
have been
like,
the camp instructor. Like, how do I get away with molesting this kid? Oh, it's a prank. Oh yeah, just let me touch it.
Either that, or he's like, how do I get him really smooth?
Or maybe you'll go in the shower where I set up that camera
Right, maybe
from
I'll
the
run.
1980s that's like 20 feet big.
It's under a cardboard box with
Yeah.
a hole cut out
That
of it.
says-
like sleepaway camp.
Oh.
So they probably have videos
Oh
of me
my
as like a
God.
12-year-old that they've been jerking off to for years.
Oh.
Oh, damn.
I mean,
And poor Dom.
somebody's got to do it. Yeah, I know.
I was.
They're like, turn the camera, turn the camera.
No, they're like, never mind.
Yeah.
That's
I
it.
can see that.
Always got picked last for gym and molestation. So never just, I guess it added it. It was okay in the end.
That'd be
So
the name of this video.
know.
Always pick last for molestation.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I guess in the end I dodged a bullet. I never even knew.
You guys, I hope it even.
Always pick
Yeah.
last for molestation.
Hey, it
All
did.
right.
Yeah. Okay. So always pick last for molestation.
So yeah, I guess maybe being a
Episode
fat
2.
kid was
I mean, you
was
win.
good. Maybe
You
yeah,
win
maybe
at childhood.
Yeah,
I
I guess
did.
I did.
I don't remember
I
any
don't-
of it
I
for
didn't
good
really
reason.
have
Right,
I
yeah.
assumed
It was
that
a
it was like a
natural-
weekly event. They were like, everyone over there, you come with me. I'm gonna diddle your dick.
Oh man.
It's
See, no, my parents took us camping, so we had it was
Okay,
fun
you
then.
were
You know,
safe.
we all
I actually went
yeah.
camping with my parents for several years. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my dad was at a couple of them, but
When Georgia
No.
or here.
but I don't know that he was there all the time.
I
He
was
could've-
down here when I was
legit
4,
don't
so-
remember
He
much
may
of
have
it.
dropped me off.
Yeah, he
his
might have
way.
been like, "Hey, don't touch my kid. I'm gonna go."
Was that here? Was that in like Florida or was that another state or something?
Cape Coral, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's weird.
And
Yeah.
people in Cape Coral are gross, so you know they
Oh.
touch my dick.
Oh man.
A lot of
Did you
guys.
ever go camping there?
Yeah. Did you ever go to All Aboard?
Let's say it.
Like with
It's
other
something
like
about
No.
kids? Or...
Here's the thing. So
Olive Garden?
we
No,
went
Olive
camping up in the
On
woods
boarding.
All
in
Aboard,
Massachusetts
the
pretty much every
kids.
summer. But our idea
Oh,
for
that sounds
camping
like
was
something-
we had like
Hold on.
It's in Cape Coral.
a house that was like 4 bedrooms.
Right. Yeah.
And it was in the mountains. It was like a cabin.
We did
and
that too.
There was
Yeah.
a jukebox in the basement. We all used to like
We did that too.
do
Did
the
anybody like
s'mores.
Fonz it?
No.
But it's depressing.
I tried.
Right.
My uncle got mad at me for hitting his jukebox. So
That
there's
also
that.
sounds like a weird title.
No, it was awesome, man. We had 4-wheelers, and they had they called it the pit, and it was all like sand dunes, and you'd go down there and you ride.
Nothing positive has ever been described as a pit.
Well, that
The pit.
was fun.
They called it
The
pit.
sand pit,
Nice.
and then we had the lake that we would go.
Very
swim in.
descriptive.
Yeah.
Here's the
I'll
pit,
take
here's the
you.
lake, here's the house, and
That's it.
Yeah, man.
You're good. Go play.
That's what we did.
Yep.
We'd light fireworks. Fireworks, baby.
We
That's right. 'Cause you get
We
the
would
good
take-
ones. They weren't illegal, so you can go get the
No,
stuff you
we
can't
did
get
that. The
anywhere
whole
else.
lake. Everybody
Oh,
all
yeah.
around the lake. So, like, they would set off theirs, then they would set off theirs, and we would all stay in one place. It lasted for fucking ever. It was awesome. And they always tried to one-up each other every year, so, you know.
It's a lucky, someone didn't get their nose
Right, like in a
No, that
bazooka.
did not happen. No.
Shot a
Not that I
bazooka
know of.
or something?
I mean, they were very drunk lighting off those
That's what I'm
fireworks. I
saying.
do know
You're
that.
lucky.
Yeah.
They're lucky.
I remember me and my cousins would always take. My grandparents lived in this house in the woods, this log cabin, pretty much at the bottom of this hill, and there was this super long driveway, road that would pretty much go down to the front of the house, and then it would curve and go to the second level of the house, and then there would be a second level of a garage.
What?
It was so weird.
Why do you have that many driveways?
It's just this
Just
one almost continuous
Just
road.
in case.
It was.
We have a lot of people park. It's for the
Well, there was
orgies.
the front of the house where you could park, and then there was the down a level. There was a detached garage, and then there was a second layer below that garage too. So anyway, we
A
would take.
secret lab in one of those levels.
did you move a book?
Nowadays, I wish my grandparents still owned the house, because now I actually have the courage, and I wouldn't be afraid that there'd be something in there that would eat me. I would actually like to go down. And,
There may have been.
Yeah.
Possibly, yeah.
Then you'd be like,
I
shit,
would
it's a
live-
gator, and
no,
again.
No,
They're
this is
raising
in Georgia.
rancors
This is in
in the
Georgia,
fucking
so
basement.
there's no gators in Georgia. Well, maybe. Anyway.
I mean, I feel like if anybody picks up a gator and brings it to Georgia, there's a gator in Georgia.
Well, I mean, yeah, technically. Anyway.
Somebody's done it.
So we would take big wheels, and I had this John Deere plastic tractor that you could pedal and whatnot. We would take various things like that and just way up the hill and just ride them all the way down. It was crazy.
I don't feel like that's as crazy as getting
No.
molested by a camp
Well,
counselor.
no. I mean, I don't
You
know.
weren't there.
Yeah.
Right.
You weren't there.
There were hundreds of pedophiles on the way down
Well,
just grabbing your dick.
It was literally you thought they were
Right.
high-fiving, but they were trying to just
Yeah, just rip
Well,
it
take
off.
you home.
I think we were
On
away
either
from
side of
that,
the road,
yeah.
though,
Oh,
is
well.
pretty much one side there's a ditch, and the other side is just this super
Bring it
steep,
back.
hill, pretty much. So there were plenty of chances we could die, or we could have died, or whatever.
Broken your
And
neck or something.
seriously.
I mean, that's my whole
That's
childhood.
every childhood.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Dude,
Our
yeah,
parents
true.
were inside getting plastered, and we were playing in a place called the Pit.
Like-
Okay, not good. I remember one time we
Mm.
took it, and I was like, I'm gonna go over this big jump. I think I was landing age. I was 8 years old, and I had a friend on the back. And I went over, and there was a tree trunk, so it hit the wheel, and the whole fucking four-wheeler landed on top of me.
Oh my god.
I had bruises and scratches, and we went back, and I remember my family looked at us and was like, we fell down.
We fell down.
We
I
didn't want to
fell.
get in trouble because then we wouldn't get to ride the four-wheelers anymore. So we're like, okay, we got to think up a real good lie. We're limping all the fucking way home because we're too scared to get on the four-wheeler. It was ridiculous.
I
We got hurt all the fucking time.
when I was a
rarely
kid,
got hurt, actually.
when I was a kid, we used to play at construction sites, and there was one across the
Yeah.
road from
I
me,
used to do that too.
and they had this
Yeah.
big pile of dirt because they were still building
Dude,
it.
those were
Oh,
the
those
best
But they
so
stuff
had
ever
like
at that
they had
stage.
like nails and shit all
Oh,
over the
yeah,
place,
of course.
and then you find this big water heater box that's the size of you and your friend, and you're like, well, let's open it up and make a sled out of it. So then you're riding down Nail Mountain, and you're fucking got nails shooting through the bottom of it, but you make it to the road where you fall out and you get a bunch of scrapes. all
Right,
over
the
you.
road. You make it to
Yeah.
the road, which is nothing but shells, broken
Yeah.
gravel, and
In
pieces
a
of
box.
glass.
Yeah.
In a box.
In a
in a
box.
box, and you're like, yes, this is such a good idea.
Once we get to the road, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
Probably.
Nothing's
Maybe
gonna hurt
not.
us here.
Yeah.
How could it? Our parents wouldn't let us be in any danger. So Possum, we lived at Kyle's house, and he had tile ceilings. And when I was younger, he had metal fans. So there's a bunch of Possum stories. So then let's just start with the one that we
Don't
were
do a
talking
metal
about.
fan one with the possum.
All right, stop it down. Oh, you already ruined it.
All right, go ahead.
Anyway,
Tell me about the possum.
Well, now I have to tell that one.
You were telling
But
possum and
Kyle's
metal fan.
dad woke up one night to screaming at the top of his lungs. And Kyle went over to his cousin's house to spend the night, and he
Uncle
runs.
Cousin's
No,
house?
I don't. Yeah.
Is that a thing now, too? Uncle cousin.
All
For a
right.
second, I was gonna ignore it, but I'm like,
Is it the uncle, the cousin,
So then-
or both?
So
Uncle
then
Cousins.
his
All
dad
right.
opens the door, and there's blood all over the walls. And a possum fell through the ceiling, got chopped in half by the fan,
man.
blood got thrown across, and half of it was on Kyle's brother's face.
Oh
and he
my
was just like,
God.
ah! And he just and then it was just, I don't know, it was just rolling.
fans.
Were you
They're
there?
metal fans! I wasn't there. His dad
Right,
is,
but even
Kyle's
then,
my
like,
best friend, though, so I don't know. But yeah, so that's crazy. And that happened more than once. Once I went over to his house and he had a box. He had a box, not the killing.
I was going to say that happened more than once.
He had a box.
I don't know if that's a coincidence.
And he just woke up and he goes, "Get the fuck out of the way, I just got a possum out of my room." And he had to like fling the box at the door so that the possum would go away. But when I lived there, so one day Kyle wakes me up and he's like, "Did you have somebody over?" I'm like, "No." And he's like, "You had to have." I'm just like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Well, whoever it was fucking broke our mirror." And I'm like, "I don't know why you're yelling at me. I just woke up, dude." So then I go into the bathroom. The bathroom's covered in mirror. And we used to have this giant 8-foot stand-up tall mirror. So like when you, and it would just like, it was really nice. You could see your whole body.
That was a
so
nice
like,
mirror.
when you got dressed, you could be like, "Oh boy, this is me." Anyway, it doesn't matter. So then there's mirror everywhere, and I'm like, shit. And then I look closer, and there's like little turds and blood paw prints everywhere. And I'm like, "Yeah, Kyle, the person I brought over has weird paws that are all over the place, and they shit on the couch." And like, so there's shit all over the house. Because the thing, so then Kyle's like, "Holy shit, there's a possum in the house." And I'm like, "We need to get a stick." So we get a long stick, and we were like running around opening doors and cabinets and shit. And we determined that a possum walked across a light fixture in his sister's room, fell onto her bed where there was a bunch of dead roaches that came out of the ceiling. And then she wasn't home. I don't care. She was a drug addict. Doesn't matter. Anyway, so there's a bunch of dead roaches all over her bed with like a light fixture. And then it walked around the house and it was just like, "I'm possum, motherfucker." And then it got into the bathroom, knocks over the mirror, freaks the fuck out, and like starts running around the bathroom in circles, probably hissing and shitting everywhere. And then cuts its feet up, then runs back into the living room, starts shitting all over the couch and bleeding everywhere, gets into the kitchen, knocks out every pan from underneath the sink into the middle of the kitchen, and then goes into his sister's bathroom, mauls all of her nail polish, then jumps on top of a shower door and burrows a hole into the ceiling and gets out.
Was there a hole in the ceiling?
We were asleep the whole time.
What if none of that happened?
It did.
What if
You
that
made
was
up this really
What
elaborate
if a guy
We had
came in?
pictures. I don't know if you can find them anymore, but I promise you that I have.
There's a
Please
video
try.
of this. A
Please
video
try to
of
find
There
the
was
pictures.
what video of this? We were asleep. You
No,
can't
I'm
videotape.
saying- No, of like you following the trail of the
What?
possum.
We were scared it was gonna bite us with ravenous teeth.
Ravenous.
Yeah.
It likes nail polish.
I don't know. It doesn't. We didn't know that until we followed the trail of shit,
It had
piss,
a
and
night,
fucking.
look.
Blood
Yeah.
It had a night. It had
That
a
thing
spa
is
day.
dead,
Oh
like
my
10 feet
God.
from his house in a ditch somewhere, from bleeding out from its paws. But it all happened, and we were just like, Jesus Christ! It could have been a rape axe murderer, and we would have just let him do it. Like, "Oh yeah, whatever. Take my like." That's what happens in your sleep.
I
So
think
being
a rape
asleep.
axe murderer would have walked in and been
So
like,
those-
"Oh, those
those-
motherfucking roaches."
Those
Oh,
fucking snake
no.
people, they're better people than I am. That happens.
Oh.
Yeah, you had to deal with that.
Yeah, I know.
I don't have stories like that. Like
I
I
don't
always
either.
lived
Like,
in
all
nice
the
houses
stories.
that didn't have.
I mean,
shit.
I don't know. Things happen, and
I
you
had
just
a cat that was
spectate
that
them.
was that much of an
It's
ass.
It's definitely not the
Fucking
same.
dog.
Having a cat is like a normal thing.
I don't know. My cat used to open with his. He'd use his paws to open the cabinets, and he would knock over pans.
I mean,
Like your possum.
this possum was like a jacked cat because he did every pan in a night.
We had raccoons up in our like attic or whatever.
We went to
Oh,
Maddie's
boy.
house, and there was that raccoon that like
Oh,
washed
you
his
guys,
paws.
This raccoon. So it came in through the cat door, and it was eating all the cat food and leaving.
Right,
like,
which
it
they
didn't
do,
It
yeah.
didn't knock over trash
In the
It didn't
house,
go
right.
in the house. So, Maddie's mom was like, "Is your dog coming upstairs? Your dog's coming upstairs." And we're like, "He's really not." Like Stitch is terrified of stairs. He doesn't understand them. He doesn't know what they are because
Yeah, I knew they were blaming us. I couldn't remember
He
why.
didn't know how to walk upstairs, so he always stayed downstairs and like whined and cried because he couldn't get up the stairs. So she put powder down, flour on the ground, and she saw it came in through the cat door, crawled over to the cat's food, rinsed its paws in the water dish, then ate all the food, then left. Like the most gentlemanly raccoon in the world. Excuse me, just gonna eat this right here. Let me wash my hands first.
This
They're a
is all I
little
want.
dirty. I'm gonna go out the way I came.
That's great.
Yeah, just slowly.
Yeah, the raccoons around here.
are
Kyle's-
assholes. Knock over your trash can.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you, human.
Yeah.
What you got in here?
That's
bitch?
like it
Fuck
could
your
just be.
bitch.
There might not be raccoons in Florida. It might just be rednecks.
Yeah.
But Kyle used to have
Redneck raccoons.
a food pit. Because if they had to throw out food, they just dump it into the pit, and then the raccoons could just eat it all without knocking over their trash.
Yeah, no. So we have redneck raccoons here, and they have Southern Belle raccoons. In
Yeah,
Georgia.
they're like, they probably do a tap dance
Excuse
and
me.
musical, like, hello, my baby, hello,
They're
my
Disney
baby.
raccoons.
Yeah, they are. They're
It's
walking.
completely animated. It's
Top
like,
hat, monocle.
Right,
I love this vintage.
This lovely cuisine you've prepared.
oh, it's finally
Oh,
aged.
hello.
They're right on the bag. The flavor is divine.
Salmon hot.
I'm from Central Florida, which is very known for black bears.
Ooh.
And we used to live
Yeah,
out in
that's
the
a thing.
woods. And there was one time where I was like going to throw the trash out. My mom's like, "Brooke, take out the trash." I'm like, "Okay." And I opened the back door, and there's a bear 4 feet away from me. I'm not exaggerating. Like, that bear could have swiped at me and hit me. And I was just like, "Ah!" And I closed the door, and we would like sit at the window and just watch the bear like digging through our
That bear
trash.
was like, that bear out there was like, what the fuck?
So also at Kyle's house, he had a giant cactus with flowers and fruit on it, and Spanish people would come over and be like,
Can I have
"Cactus?" And then he'd be like, "Yes." And then Kyle would set
Yes,
up a
it is a
chair
cactus.
in front of his window, and they would have a machete. And the cactus was like 10 feet tall, and they'd be jumping up and down trying to like cut off
The
fruit.
fruit, yeah.
And we would just sit and watch them. And it was way better than television. But
Yeah,
that's
the
similar to
bear,
that.
Yeah, the bear man was like, "Oh my god!" And they came all the time to like go through our trash.
My dad, we had bears in Massachusetts too, and they used to like we had woodchucks that would get into our garden in the back, and my dad went out one day and shot one of them in the ass, like got it in the ass, and the woodchuck he killed it, and he hung it on a nail in the back,
Oh my god.
and like the bears would come and get him, man, and that was like he's like it's a dinner for the bears, like he would just leave it, and the bears would come and eat the
Oh
shit.
Are
my
woodchucks
God.
like beavers?
think
They're
something like
they're
that,
like
right?
rodents. They
Well-
like they forage.
They chuck wood.
They do
That's
chuck wood. No, they don't eat wood. They
Chuck it.
nom.
They chuck it.
I just don't understand where the bear was, because like the bear would come.
It lives under your porch.
No,
Yeah.
because I would go out in those woods and I would like play and I would go miles out into
Well, black
these
bears are
woods.
not as
Yeah.
notorious for killing people as brown bears.
I know, but
Yeah.
where did it sleep? Like, where did it
In
come
the-
from?
It depends.
In the
I mean,
woods.
we
Had a
had-
small
like, here's the
campsite.
thing. So we had this huge neighborhood, right, with different patches of woods that went all the way
Same.
around. And
There
they
were
would
houses
actually,
everywhere.
we would watch a bear, like, just walk across the street into the next patch of woods, and, like, nothing was...
You know, if you would have left the door open long enough, you might have sang that song from the Jungle Book.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. What is it?
The Bare
Bare
Necessities.
Necessities.
Right.
Come on, man.
Man,
You look
I
like an
didn't see the
asshole
Jungle
right
It
Book.
now.
took me longer to
I didn't see the
realize
live
that
action
that's
one, but I
like-
saw
I
the
saw
other
the
one.
live action one, didn't
Then-
see the original.
Do they sing in
I
it?
didn't
Really?
Yeah,
see
Bill
that.
Murray
Yeah.
is the bear, and he sings.
Oh, that's pretty fun.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Yeah.
Love Bill Murray.
Yeah, he's good.
But bare necessities, it's like a pun on like. Or a
Bear.
double
You should
entendre.
explain it to us in full
We got
detail.
Took me a while. Like
Really?
longer than I yeah.
The
Like,
average
as a
bear.
kid,
Longer
I
than
was
the
like,
average
haha,
I
he's
was an
singing
adult
about...
when I realized that. Like, oh,
I get it. Yeah.
that
All right.
makes sense.
We should, those are things you shouldn't admit in public. Maybe.
I mean, you know, I don't really care.
He's divulging it to the world.
I see that.
Right here.
His secret.
Right now.
It's true.
Yeah.
Bare necessities.
Yep.
That could
That's a
also
real
be
mind-
the episode of the,
mind-
the name of the episode.
Confessions of the bare necessities.
My time at camp.
Yeah.
What was it? Like dodge the molestation bullet or
No,
something?
no. He's picked last
Picked
for
last for
molestation.
molestation.
Oh, yeah.
From